Industry Ready Production, psbeats.com. Make your purchase.
Showing out when I hit the stage. I'm high as fuck, up in the way. Sipping on lean, 2 cups in the face. I don't give a fuck, I bust in the face. Go nuts in the place, so we're love and a hate. Ain't in my range when I couldn't get it paid. Fight for the same, I swerve in the lane. Sort of a lame, ain't got a name. I'm a G-gas nigga, I ain't got a bang. So much money, I ain't never gonna change. Get it? Bitch, I ain't never gonna change. Money so long, like attached with a chain. Smart as fuck, get a whole lot of brain. Swag it so right, like I keep it maintained. But you can't contain with a nigga gon' bring them out, then a breaking name.
Turnt Up TV, what is up? Colorado's hottest podcast in the box state, representing on iHeartRadio. This is your host, Mr. Turnt Up TV himself, Lance Maharez. You could always find us on iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spreaker. Just search Turnt Up TV, man. We'll pop up. You get your latest podcast, latest music, everything in sports, music, entertainment. We got a lot to cover today, man. We back up on another week of Turnt Up TV. Last week we had a lot to go over. They finally got their asses. The dudes who snuck out of the correctional facility finally end up capturing both of them. One's dead, one's captured. We'll get into that a little bit. BET Awards, Puff Daddy had another tough night. We'll go over that. Winners, losers. Also, we'll talk about some more music, local entertainment stuff we got going on here in Greeley and everything, man. NBA draft free agency is getting crazy, so make sure you always hit us up on Turnt Up TV on Facebook and Instagram, and just be checking out for anything latest in the news, entertainment, politics, whatever we got. We got you right here on Turnt Up TV. So the hunt is over. The search for David Sweat and Richard Matt comes to an end. We heard 3 days ago, prior to David Sweat being captured, Richard Matt was killed, and ended up right now. David Sweat, man, he's in the hospital, pretty much still under some severe care from being shot on the side of his ribs or wherever the hell they shot him at. But he's spilling it, man. He's telling everything, the plans, what ended up happening. He's telling the exact way that they were going to end up getting out, what tools they used. And he says his original plans are to head to Mexico after busting out of Clinton Correctional Facility more than 3 weeks ago. But they had to improvise after, the lady that tried to help him out. She didn't end up showing up because she ended up getting scared out. Oh yeah, Joyce Mitchell. She got scared, so she didn't end up showing up. So they ended up just jumping out and going somewhere else. The plan, I guess, was to end up killing the husband. I guess they were gonna make more fucking trouble for themselves by having her pick up. I guess she thought that she was gonna be in love with both of them, or maybe one of them, or who knows what their plan was. That plan, but the initial plan ended up messing up. So what they had to do, they had to jump on foot, and they had to start hiking in the woods and going through some pretty crazy ass terrain and conditions, man. From being out there in the cold, from also being out there in with the bugs in the terrain and not exactly know where you're going. And it was crazy because the officer that ended up shooting David Sweat said that when they found him, he had maps on him, he had food, he had direction, he knew which way he was going, and he was only 2 miles from getting from that border. And the crazy thing too is they actually, he says that he came real close. I guess there was like a hunting tree. It kind of looked like if there was a tree house out in the middle of nowhere, but it's where hunters used to climb up and kind of just scout out, whatever they're hunting, deer or whatever the season is. But he says that he was hiding up in one of those things, and that a cop came right underneath him, walked right by him, and he said that was the closest that he thought that he'd be to being caught. And at the end of the day, he said he had to ditch the other inmate that he was with, Richard Matt, because he said that he was slowing him down. First off, said he went into a camper, ended up finding some liquor, and it was over for him. He said he just all wanted to do was get drunk. He was slowing him down. Also said that he was out of shape. He couldn't keep up. So it came about like 2 days later, 2 days before, or 3 days ago, that before he got caught, they ended up splitting paths and going their own ways. And he said that he did eventually hear that that they killed Richard Matt, and he was pretty hurt about it. So then when it came down to him, he said, "I'm making it. I'm taking another deep run towards these woods." A New York State trooper ended up capturing Sweat on Sunday after firing 2 shots after he started running. He said that he seen him in the middle of the field and that he called him out, knew it was him, and they just started taking off running towards the trees. And he said that it was either take the shots, take him out, or he was going to disappear into the trees. And, at some point running across the field, he realized he was going to make it to the tree line and possibly could have disappeared. So we fired his 2 shots. Sweat was on the arm, but he was struck twice in the torso, and no one else was hurt, and he's still in the hospital. But right now, man, he's just, just dropping everything, talking about how the guards didn't, check the beds right at night, how there is, I guess there's actually even a sledgehammer left in one of those catwalks that they were going, and that's how they end up breaking one of those walls down, and someone ended up leaving a sledgehammer out. So obviously these guys had a lot of help. They said there was no power tools. They didn't have no power tools. That they ended up just doing it. They also came up into a manhole that they were going to come up in another hole but pop out, but there was too much. It was too much houses or something around like that. But also they had bug repellent and Pop-Tarts. Man, these guys were set to go and ready to make it. So that's why it comes down to somebody. There had to be more people involved than just these 2 that are possibly suspects, because they said that he had a bag full of stuff. He had maps. He had a certain amount of tools. He had bug repellent. He had wipes. He had Pop-Tarts, and he also had camo clothes. So it's clear the weather sweat acquired those applies from Escape. They don't know, but they just know that this dude was set to go. And I don't know too many people that leave Pop-Tarts out there camping. I don't know if that's something, a common camping, hunting food. But, and they also said they had pepper spray and that they're trying to use pepper spray to throw these guys off. So these guys are set up, man. These guys are ready to go. And at the end of the day, life's back to normal down there, because they said, man, they had 800 cops walking that whole city and that whole town, and they said for the people to be able to sleep with their windows open and to go outside without seeing cops and having your trunk checked every time you drive, it's probably pretty relieving. So Turnt Up TV, let me know what you guys think of that, man. That shit is crazy. Probably one of the craziest stories that's happened in a long time around here, because that shit's going to be an amazing movie. They're going to make, put somebody on a big screen, and that shit's going to be Shawshank Redemption too, because that really was the real life motherfucking Shawshank Redemption. So let us know what you guys think about that Turnt Up TV. Hit us up on Facebook, iHeartRadio, and Spreaker. Also, we got Twitter, Instagram. We're all over. You got a lot of ways to reach out to us. Let us know what you guys think about that story. And do you guys think, if they also said that if they didn't take that time to stop at those cabins, that he might have made it to Canada. So that's crazy to think that he probably had a really decent chance of making it out if there are a couple things he didn't do the right way. So let us know what you guys think about that. Wanted to run through that real quick on Turnt Up TV. Moving on, a little sports. USA. We just stunned the world right now. U.S. women's soccer. If you guys haven't been keeping up with it, man, it's getting hype. U.S. soccer, man, advances to the World Cup. Yesterday, after beating Germany 2-0 in the World Cup semifinals. It was earlier in the game too. If you guys didn't see this, Morgan Brian banged her head with one of Germany's players, and the other Germany chick got her head cut open, and they both went back and played, and it was crazy because it came down to that ended up being one of the set them up for the penalty kick, and our girl just went in and drove through and knocked it in and set the crowd crazy, and then we got another goal just to put some security on it, and it was crazy to see that happen for the U.S., and especially after last year, man, getting there and not being able to take care of it. They interviewed a lot of people, and even Hope Solo was saying, I'm glad, that it went down the way it did, and it's time for us. They're not focused on this, they're happy, but they're ready to take that World Cup, and that's crazy for U.S. For any time anything pops off, man, World Soccer, even the men's or U.S., every 4 years, everybody jumps on board, and it's kind of cool to see the girls kind of back in that and representing. So it's a huge sport, and it's a huge following, not just in this country but all over the world. And it's exciting to know that the United States is going to be representing on Sunday to play for the World Cup, and they're waiting to see whoever Japan and England they're going to face, and that's going to be a great game. So let us know if you guys are going to be watching that on Sunday and what you guys think about the latest game and how they got there, because they kind of had some adversity getting through those other games with that first one when they had, what was it? It was 1-0 and they were tied up. And they couldn't figure out a way to get through, but then they ended up pushing it. And like we say, Morgan Brian was the star of that game. And for her to be able to come back and, for both of them to come back after having that bloody head. And the funny thing they were making fun of it, man, was they saying, man, this is the World Cup. It's like the Olympics, it's everything. You train every 4 years to get here, so nothing's going to take you out. So this girl ended up having a bloody head. They took her to the side, and they literally, with the hose, hosed her head down, wrapped her shit up, and sent her back out there to play. So, Sunday, it goes down. USA waiting to see who comes out of that other side, and I'm going to be tuned in. Y'all better be tuned in, rooting for the girls, bring it home, and hell yeah, let's get a World Cup for girls soccer in the United States. That's what I'm saying. Hit us up on Turnt Up TV. Let us know where you guys are going to be watching that game, and how excited and where you guys at when they won that semifinals, because everybody's into it. Like I said, everybody's watching it. Every 4 years you got it. It's just what you got to do, and it's the girls and it's the USA. If you ain't repping. So moving on, NBA free agency draft is underway. Shit is getting crazy, y'all. So the NBA season right now is about to get crazy, man, because we got NBA free agency going around and everybody is shifting everywhere. Latest and greatest word right now, Paul Pierce will be going to the LA Clippers to go back home, sign a 3-year deal to go back and reunite with Doc Rivers and play down there. That's a big one. But the biggest free agent obviously is LaMarcus Aldridge. Went to LA, went to the Lakers, said he had a meeting with them. Apparently is not going to LA. My Spurs are unloading. We're putting everything we can to try to go after LaMarcus Aldridge. We just traded Tiago Splitter to the Atlanta Hawks. So Tiago's a huge part of our championship success. And for us to ship him out, that lets you know that we're getting ready to gear up and to go after LaMarcus. Also, we signed, man, people getting paid today. Kawhi Leonard, $90 million 5-year deal he just signed with San Antonio. And not just that. The Spurs also re-signed Danny Green, $45 million 4 years, and we are locking up, man. We still have to see what we can do about Ginobili. We still have to see what we can do about getting Timmy back. But if y'all don't think the Spurs are trying to make a serious run again, like we always do, it's getting crazy. But around the league, excuse me, who was it? Oh yeah, Kevin Love. Kevin Love signs a $109 million deal. 5 years to stay with Cleveland. Jimmy Butler agreed to terms with Chicago, $95 million, so they're turning kind of away from Derrick Rose if they're going to throw $95 million towards him. Dwayne Wade's still out there. DeAndre Jordan's still out there. Brooke Lopez agrees to stay in Brooklyn, $60 million, 3 years. Paul Millsap for Atlanta is going to get $59 million. It's crazy, man. People all over the NBA are getting paid right now, and it just kind of sucks too for Denver fans because you're not really making no moves, even though you guys just got the one of the hottest, biggest steals in the draft. But Iman Shumpert's going to stay in Cleveland. He's going to try to help them get going again. And there's a lot of free agency all over, so it's crazy to see everybody moving around. It's always one of the funnest parts of the year, man, to see who's going to re-up, who's going to stock, who's going to go after free agents, and who's going to come back and, kind of be in a position, because the West, damn, the West is good. The West is so good, it scares me. It's crazy, and especially for Denver fans, Minnesota's getting better. The Pelicans, they just signed, where is he at? Let me find this. They re-signed, the eyebrow. What's the eyebrows? The Pelicans. Yeah, the Pelicans re-signed, there it is, Anthony Davis to a $145 million deal to stay in New Orleans. But that's insane. A $145 million deal, 5 years, going to stay there, so he's obviously going to be the franchise player in the Pelicans. And it's no joke, man. Obviously, the world champs, Golden State Warriors, are just going to sit back and get better. Dallas Mavericks are going to always be there. It's just crazy. The West is just unfair compared to the East, and that's another debate I want to know about what y'all think. Do you think they need to take some of these teams from the West and put them over in the East and balance it out a little bit? Because the West, man, it's crazy. With the Thunder, you're still forgetting about KD and Westbrook and the Thunder. So many good teams that it's just crazy to see that are over here. I think they need to break them up, man. They need to take through 2 or 3, throw them in the East, because the East is garbage, man. The East, when you can make the playoffs with under 500%, record, I don't understand that. So you guys need to let me know what you guys think about that Turnt Up TV. Let me know, hit me up, and tell me, do you think we need to take and split up the West? Because the West is too damn good. There's too many damn good players and teams who aren't featured in the playoffs that should be, and they're not because there's not enough room. You only get 8. And there's about 10 to 11 solid good NBA teams in the West, and that's just what it is. So, man, let me know what y'all think about that. It's crazy to see at the position with them, with everybody making moves in free agency in the NBA and the whole scramble about that. I appreciate y'all turning in on this hump day, get you through a week with Turnt Up TV. Make sure y'all check out Nina Productions' newest hit, Remix Truffle Butter, featuring myself, K-Lo, the girl Miss Rice, and the boy Eddie P, man. You can check that up on our YouTube channel.